What up, pilots? So, with the imminent release of GDO 3 just on the horizon, I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do, trying to not only hype everybody else up about cards that people may not be looking at, but cards that I think that people aren't talking about. Yes, we have a bunch of reveals about GDO 4 and 5. Personally, I'll be waiting for GDO 5. But right now, we have GDO 3, and we have to think about these cards and especially how in tandem they can work with the future sets. So, with that in mind, I'm going to put together this little series that I've been wanting to do where I highlight a card at least two, three times a week, all the way up until the release of GDO 3. And there's one particular card that everyone saw. We all looked at it, but was glanced over, at least in my opinion, as far as I can tell from the community, on how impactful this card may be. And I think it's only because of the unit that it's tied to more than the implications that it creates. So, without further ado, let's start this series off with what I think is going to be a slept on pilot. And if not, then it will change the way that blue is played inside of a lot of decks. Let's take a look at them. Let's go on. Come on over here. My boy, Lane Aim. This is a crazy ass name. I don't know what show he came from. Don't flame me in the comments. I've only really watched Wing, Endless Waltz, and G. So I don't know where a large majority of these people come from, but I do know this effect came from hell. And people, people, Penelope, we'll get to Penelope, right? Because I think it's good too. In fact, it might be one of the videos that I go over as well, because that with Earth Federation, it might be good. It might be spicy. We'll talk about it. But today is the focus on this pilot and this pilot alone. Burst add to hand, of course, it's a pilot, not a command pilot. When you draw with an effect, so it means anything that's outside of your draw turn, basically. If it's in a blue unit, it just gains time maneuver during the turn. Um, this is major. This could be potentially color changing because the first thing that came to mind, probably for everybody, was to show a resolve. Draw two, and then you give something high maneuver. But that's super expensive if this wasn't already on a unit existing, right? So I really had to step back and think about it. How do we trigger this without show or resolve? And that's when the juices started flowing, and then I started seeing so much potential in this card. And it being a 2+1 playable any turn after level 4 is phenomenal. I wouldn't have been surprised had this been a level 5 cost one. Just to drive it home. But you can technically play it the same turn of show of resolve. If you already have a unit on the board, you can immediately give it high maneuver technically. But I've been thinking outside of just Penelope because Penelope is huge. And yeah, it'll give you those last 1-2 punches when you're needing to get over pesky freedom and all these other blockers, right? And that's what high maneuver is there for. But I was wondering, can we abuse this effect a little bit earlier? So a couple things came to mind. Let's uh let's go back. So I've already searched what cards draw and blue. And this is the meat of why I think this card might see more play than what the average person would think, right? Um Original Grandpa Gundam from GDO 1. When paired, if you have two or more units on the board, draw one, which also translates into draw one and also give this high maneuver. Not too bad. And self triggering basically, as long as you meet the other requirements, which usually you usually can, gun tanker 2 or some GMs, you'll get that right online. So that's never a problem, and it'll help you refuel your hand and get a free hit in on a problematic unit or straight up life. Running this in Rush or Blurple or anything that just requires Grandpa Armoro and any of the other good blue delights, this card, it finds its way home as a hand refiller and steady tempo still. Cost the same as original Grandpa and would automatically get high maneuver. Yeah, you don't get the +1/+1, but you'll get the high maneuver. Unblockable damage is still the best keyword in the game. High maneuver is still the best in the game. Unblockable damage is always not cool. Here's our boy, Lane Aim. And then I thought about Benarger, and that's pretty cool because you can also start to squeeze in a destroy unicorn package and always get this off, and it's always a treat. And all of the destroy Gundams pretty much do something just you don't want it, you don't want that climb. So being able to draw and then also give something high maneuver, that it might even be another unicorn, and then link this under one of the other destroy modes, and you just be going out here, high maneuvering and drawing, high maneuvering and drawing. Um, that also brought me to four. Four can draw off of Titans, and Titans are definitely getting more units in GDO3. So why couldn't Lane find his way inside of a shell with that as well? Turnabout, dramatic turnabout. This is a very interesting card, but also could be used to heal up something that you want to keep on the board. Maybe the Penelope, maybe a Epion, something you want to keep around for a very long time, and then you can draw, and then who knows? Start giving people. Look, give Epion high maneuver. It's already a huge unit. You won't be able to, restand and draw because it won't have Zex under it. But you'll be able to do some stuff and keep it alive. High maneuver, once again, it doesn't matter what you slap it in. As long as you can get to that shield, get to that life, that unblockable damage at an unexpected time is just so good. That's why Wing is also, Zero is really good too. On top of bombing the board, now it's just unblockable wherever it goes, and it's huge. So that's why I'm stressing so hard about what Lane does and what can easily get it triggered. Speaking of which, NT1. NT1 can also do it. And if you put this inside of Blurple, right, which I will have a sample deck list at the end, um, think about pairing this to NT1, killing something that's rested, drawing a card, and then this having high maneuver to attack into stuff or into shields. That's a lot of effects going off for one interaction. You putting NT on the board and chilling, and then playing Lane right after that to be able to ping down something on the next turn. You should have Anxas or Adepts or Gun Tanks in hand by then, surely. So this NT1 getting the kill on something, drawing, and still being able to high maneuver while you control the board seems like it's pretty spicy. So I got that in store for you too. Um, I thought about the MA form, one paired, white base pile. Well, you can't even do it with this. Haha, there we go. We caught ourselves. Zex and Epion, like I mentioned earlier. Once you swing into something with Epion and draw, then you can put this under any of the other blue, or put it on the grandpa. Start giving it +2, and then it already gives itself +1. And then it can high maneuver and then give everything else +1. That sounds pretty deadly. It sounds pretty deadly, right? And the same thing with Epion as well. And of course, you have who he pilots, who he drives, Penelope. I think this effect is amazing. I think this unit is really big, and if you've made it to this part of the game, you could probably use a refill on your hand. So if you run enough Earth Federation, which we've just named a couple already, then you should be fine. But look at all that untapped potential right there, just alone in its native color. And then start to splash something like white, where you also have overflowing affection. You could trigger it for even cheaper. And then put this under a blue unit, which Epion and Blue White Academy and all that have a perfect amount of blue people for this to go under. And I'm not saying run four of it, but at least running 2 to 3 of this card guarantees, if done correctly, 3 unblockable damage at a moment's notice. See, people have to build up to 0, right? And you see it coming. All right, man. Well, he's at 8. I guess if he's running green white, it's coming. It's coming. But this, right? This can come out of nowhere. People will leave units there that don't think they're going to do anything. This allows for Anksha to bust most bases. High maneuver, Anksha. It'll be a 5/4. So you can ping something and then draw from some other source, right? It could be Barbados, first form. If that sticks around long enough, or you make your pair and then swing and then put this under a blue unit and then draw the card and then the other card gets high maneuver, the synergy is crazy. So let's go on and over to it. I have a sample deck list. It's not the perfect 50, nor will I claim it to be. But after looking at some cards, the way that existing Blurple works, and it's moving more into a control variant than it is a rush variant for what I've put down here today. But um, the combos are there. The damage is there, and especially once again with the high maneuver, you get guaranteed damage your opponent cannot interact with. So standard gun tanks, it's blurple. I'm not gonna kid you. You got your first forms, which is a draw engine that also works good with lane. Haryukin for the big body. We got the Ankshas. At some point, I'm probably going to yank cards like this out and just in favor of more ping cards, because that's what we do. That's what we need to do. We just need to ping and keep going face, man. So this card is good, especially when Grandpa's on the board. But as you're going to see, I'm only running 2 of the original Grandpa because I had to also want to squeeze this in as well. I explained earlier, this is just an automatic draw when your requirements are fulfilled, and when you're dropping gun tanks and anxious, they cost 2 and 1, and along with adepts, like you're gonna fill the board up pretty fast, right? Anything after turn 4, you'll be able to keep up with a lot of the damage. In theory, we don't know yet. I've only been playing it on Wing Table. You can only play the AI. I don't like playing the other sim. Stop asking. Not doing it. But this is good enough reference for me to be able to come in here and do exactly what I'm doing without the cards. Hopefully, when I get the cards, I can play test and give you guys, an actual card breakdown like the vultures. But for right now, we have the theory craft we can until we get there. Also, a video will be coming out about this card because this card changes a whole lot, and I don't think people are talking about that either. But yeah, the Gujans, that might come down, but right now I want the pings, which is why we're probably going to adjust the rest of the numbers as we come to. Don't be surprised if it's just 4 of all the pings in the game, and then we just go face. NT1 will probably get bumped up to 4 as well, because why not? It says when paired, and we're running more than enough pilots to stick stuff where we need it to go. And with that being said, we got Corsica, and then we got Neo Origama. This will just allow you to ping low stuff just completely out, just pick it off. The Rick Diaz's, the Ilfrits, you'll make stuff weak, and even when they block, they're gonna regret it. Um, and hell, you can ping an Ilfrith with Adept while it's standing, right? And then Aragama, and then tap it. So it's little stuff like that But when you weave it in with the constant draw package, um, we might be looking at the new way to play Blurple. I'm not saying revolutionary, but someone smarter than me is going to do something like this in the future if I don't find the formula first. But mark my words, when this card starts getting on everybody's nerves, I want you to know that you heard it here first. I can see the future, okay? I can see just a little bit. Um, but yeah, we went with a 2-2 split, but this might honestly, with the way that we're going to ping stuff, especially while it's standing, this card changes so much. That's probably the next video. I'm not even going to lie. It's probably the next video. But this card changes so much. Um, but 2-2 split for now, but this might end up going to 4. The one of Siege Ploy, and that's also because of Adept. I can't help it. I know this video is supposed to be about Lane, and we're about to wrap up here, right? But this card just, it does so much, and so does Adept. These cards do so much, and they're going to be all over the meta. Trust me. As long as purple or blue is being played in that set, those cards will see play. I promise you. And then, of course, your fatal strikes. So ping the little stuff, get rid of it any way you can. But at the end of the day, lane aim at 3 is 3 unblockable damage. I don't care how you slice this cake. It's all on how you bake it. But as long as this is a cherry on top, I promise you that you will see some results with this card. This video is already longer than what I thought. I got a little chatty, but it is the first video, and I needed to do the intro as to what this series is going to be about. And that will do it for the day, pilots. I will get back to you, and the closer and closer we get, I might even do more and more videos, especially if you guys like this. But lane aim, you heard it here first. Good night.